Chapter 1: A Grandmother's Invitation. The sun hung low in the sky, casting a warm golden glow over the quaint town where Robert and his grandmother resided. It was a typical Saturday morning, and Robert found himself walking hand in hand with his grandmother, their steps synchronized as they navigated the familiar streets. Robert admired the colorful storefronts and charming architecture that adorned the town, each building holding its own story and history within its walls. But what Robert cherished most about these walks were the moments he shared with his grandmother, moments filled with laughter, wisdom, and unconditional love. As they strolled along, Robert couldn't help but notice the spring in his grandmother's step and the sparkle in her eyes. It was as if she was bursting with excitement, brimming with anticipation for the day ahead. "Robert, dear," she began, her voice tinged with excitement, "how about we make a little detour today? There's a cozy cafe just around the corner that I've been meaning to visit. What do you say we stop by for a cup of coffee?" Robert's eyes widened with delight at the suggestion. He loved spending time with his grandmother, and the thought of experiencing something new together filled him with joy. "That sounds wonderful, Grandma," he exclaimed, his smile widening as they veered off course towards the quaint café nestled between two bustling shops. As they approached the café, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee wafted through the air, enveloping them in its warm embrace. The sound of laughter and chatter drifted from within, inviting them to step inside and indulge in the simple pleasures of life. The interior of the cafe was cozy and inviting, with soft lighting casting a warm glow over the space. Tables adorned with fresh flowers dotted the room, while the gentle hum of conversation filled the air. Robert and his grandmother found a small table by the window, the sunlight streaming in and casting dancing shadows across the checkered tablecloth. They settled into their chairs, the anticipation of what lay ahead bubbling between them like a pot of simmering coffee. A friendly waitress approached their table, a bright smile gracing her lips as she greeted them warmly. "Good morning. What can I get for you two today?" she asked, her eyes twinkling with curiosity. "We'll have 2 cups of your finest coffee, please," Robert's grandmother replied, her voice filled with a sense of excitement. As they waited for their coffee to arrive, Robert couldn't help but feel a sense of contentment wash over him. Here he was, sitting in a cozy cafe with his beloved grandmother, embarking on yet another adventure together. When their coffee arrived, the aroma was intoxicating, filling the air with its rich and earthy scent. Robert took a cautious sip, the warmth of the liquid spreading through him like a comforting embrace. "It's delicious, Grandma," he exclaimed, a smile spreading across his face. His grandmother nodded in agreement, her eyes sparkling with delight. As they sat together, savoring their coffee and each other's company, Robert couldn't help but feel grateful for moments like these. In a world filled with chaos and uncertainty, it was these simple moments shared with his grandmother that filled his heart with joy and reminded him of the true essence of life, love, laughter, and the bonds that hold us together. Chapter 2: A Taste of Coffee. The quaint cafe enveloped Robert and his grandmother in a warm embrace as they settled into their seats, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee teasing their senses. The air was filled with the gentle hum of conversation and the soft clinking of cups and saucers, creating a soothing symphony that invited them to relax and unwind. As they sat by the window, bathed in the soft glow of sunlight filtering through the sheer curtains, Robert couldn't help but feel a sense of wonder at the bustling scene before him. The cafe was alive with activity, with patrons of all ages chatting animatedly over steaming cups of coffee and plates of freshly baked pastries. A friendly waitress approached their table, her smile warm and inviting as she welcomed them to the café. "Good morning. What can I get for you today?" she asked, her voice cheerful and bright. "We'll have 2 cups of your finest coffee, please," Robert's grandmother replied, her eyes twinkling with anticipation. The waitress nodded, her pen poised to take their order before disappearing into the bustling crowd. As they waited for their coffee to arrive, Robert's grandmother regaled him with stories of her own coffee rituals and the importance of savoring life's simple pleasures. "Robert, dear," she began, her voice soft and nostalgic, "coffee has always held a special place in my heart. It's not just about the caffeine, it's about the ritual, the warmth, and the sense of comfort it brings." Robert listened intently, captivated by his grandmother's words. He had always enjoyed the taste of coffee, but he had never truly appreciated the depth of its significance until now. When their coffee arrived, it was a sight to behold, 2 steaming cups adorned with delicate swirls of foam, the aroma so rich and inviting that Robert could almost taste it before taking his first sip. He lifted the cup to his lips, the warmth of the ceramic sending a shiver of anticipation down his spine. With a cautious sip, he tasted the coffee, a symphony of flavors dancing across his palate, from the earthy richness of the beans to the subtle hints of caramel and chocolate. "It's delicious, Grandma," he exclaimed, his eyes sparkling with delight. His grandmother smiled, her own cup cradled in her hands as she savored each sip with the reverence of a connoisseur. As they sat together, sipping their coffee and basking in the warmth of each other's company, Robert couldn't help but feel a profound sense of gratitude. In that moment, surrounded by the hustle and bustle of the café, he realized that it wasn't just about the coffee, it was about the moments shared, the memories made, and the bonds that held them together. And as he sat there, savoring the taste of coffee and the sweetness of life, he knew that this would be a moment he would cherish forever. Chapter 3: A Shopping Spree. After their delightful coffee experience at the cozy cafe, Robert and his grandmother embarked on a new adventure, a shopping spree through the bustling streets of their quaint town. As they walked hand in hand, Robert's grandmother's eyes sparkled with excitement, her spirit infectious as she led him towards the vibrant array of shops and boutiques that lined the cobblestone streets. The streets were alive with activity, the air filled with the sounds of laughter, chatter, and the occasional ring of a bicycle bell. Shop windows adorned with colorful displays beckoned passers-by, tempting them with the promise of hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. Robert's grandmother led him through the maze of shops, her keen eye scanning the displays with a sense of anticipation. With each storefront they passed, she would pause to admire the intricate details of the window displays, her excitement palpable as she pointed out her favorite items. "Look at that dress, Robert," she exclaimed, her voice filled with delight as she gestured towards a flowing floral gown displayed in a shop window. "Wouldn't that look lovely on you?" Robert smiled, his heart swelling with gratitude for his grandmother's thoughtfulness. He had always admired her impeccable sense of style and taste, and he couldn't wait to see what treasures awaited them on their shopping adventure. As they entered the first boutique, Robert was immediately overwhelmed by the array of clothing and accessories that adorned the racks and shelves. His grandmother wasted no time in leading him towards the men's section, her eyes alight with excitement as she began to browse through the various garments on display. With her expert guidance, Robert tried on several outfits, each one eliciting a different reaction from his grandmother. She offered gentle encouragement and honest feedback, helping him select pieces that complemented his style and personality. "Here, try this jacket on," she said, handing him a sleek leather bomber jacket. "I think it would look perfect on you." Robert slipped the jacket on, the soft leather enveloping him like a warm embrace. He admired his reflection in the mirror, a sense of confidence swelling within him as he realized how much his grandmother's guidance meant to him. "Wow, Grandma," he exclaimed, turning to face her with a grin. "You really have an eye for fashion." His grandmother smiled proudly, her eyes sparkling with pride as she wrapped her arm around his shoulders. "Thank you, dear," she replied, her voice filled with warmth. "But it's not just about the clothes, it's about how you feel when you wear them. Fashion is a form of self-expression, a way to showcase your unique personality to the world." As they continued their shopping spree, Robert's grandmother imparted valuable lessons about style, confidence, and the importance of embracing one's individuality. With each new garment they selected, Robert felt a newfound sense of self-assurance blossoming within him, a testament to the love, guidance, and wisdom of his grandmother. And as they strolled through the bustling streets, their arms laden with shopping bags filled with newfound treasures, Robert couldn't help but feel grateful for the bond they shared and the memories they had created together. For in that moment, surrounded by the hustle and bustle of the town, he realized that the greatest treasure of all was the love and guidance of his beloved grandmother. Chapter 4: The Art of Cooking. Back in the comfort of his grandmother's cozy kitchen, Robert eagerly awaited the next chapter of their day's adventure, the art of cooking. With aprons tied securely around their waists and ingredients laid out before them like a colorful palette, they were ready to embark on a culinary journey unlike any other. His grandmother stood at the stove, her skilled hands moving with practiced precision as she prepared the ingredients for their meal. The tantalizing aroma of garlic and onion sizzling in the pan filled the air, mingling with the scent of fresh herbs and spices to create a symphony of flavors that danced upon the senses. "Today, Robert," his grandmother began, her voice warm and inviting, "I'm going to teach you the art of cooking pasta. It's a simple dish, but when done right, it can be absolutely delicious." Robert listened intently, his eyes fixed on his grandmother's every movement as she demonstrated the proper technique for cooking pasta. She explained the importance of timing and seasoning, emphasizing the need to achieve the perfect balance of flavors and textures. As she worked, Robert couldn't help but marvel at her skill and expertise in the kitchen. Her hands moved with a grace and confidence born of years of experience, her love for cooking evident in every dish she prepared. "First, we'll start by cooking the pasta," she explained, gesturing towards the pot of boiling water on the stove. "Remember to add plenty of salt to the water, it's the key to bringing out the flavor of the pasta." Robert nodded, his attention focused as he watched his grandmother carefully lower the pasta into the pot, the bubbles dancing around it like a gentle caress. He noted the precise timing she employed, ensuring that the pasta was cooked to perfection, firm yet tender, with just the right amount of bite. Next, his grandmother demonstrated how to prepare the sauce, a rich and flavorful concoction of tomatoes, garlic, onions, and herbs simmering gently on the stove. She explained the importance of using fresh, high-quality ingredients and allowing the flavors to meld together slowly over low heat. As the sauce bubbled and simmered, filling the kitchen with its tantalizing aroma, Robert couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement building within him. He was eager to taste the fruits of their labor, to experience the culmination of their efforts in the form of a delicious homemade meal. Finally, the moment of truth arrived. With the pasta cooked to perfection and the sauce simmered to perfection, Robert and his grandmother sat down to enjoy their culinary creation, a feast fit for royalty. As they savored each mouthful, the flavors bursting upon their palates like a symphony of taste and texture, Robert couldn't help but feel a sense of pride welling within him. Not only had he learned the art of cooking pasta from his beloved grandmother, but he had also discovered a newfound passion for the culinary arts, a passion that he knew would stay with him for a lifetime. And as they sat together, basking in the warmth of the kitchen and the love that filled the air, Robert realized that the true beauty of cooking lay not just in the food itself, but in the moments shared, the memories made, and the bonds that held them together. For in that moment, surrounded by the aroma of freshly cooked pasta and the laughter of loved ones, he knew that he had found something truly special, a love for cooking that would nourish his soul for years to come. Chapter 5: A Feast Shared. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm golden glow over the cozy kitchen, Robert and his grandmother sat at the table, their hearts full and their stomachs satisfied after their culinary adventure. The aroma of their homemade pasta dish lingered in the air, a testament to the love and care they had poured into every step of the cooking process. The table was set with care, adorned with a simple yet elegant spread of freshly cooked pasta, accompanied by a crusty loaf of bread and a vibrant green salad. The flickering candlelight cast a soft, warm glow over the scene, illuminating their faces with a sense of peace and contentment. As they sat down to dine, Robert couldn't help but feel a sense of gratitude for the woman sitting across from him, his grandmother, his mentor, and his closest confidant. She had taught him so much over the years, about cooking, about life, and about the importance of cherishing the moments spent with loved ones. Bon appetit, Robert, his grandmother said with a smile, raising her glass in a toast. To family, to love, and to the simple joys of life. Robert returned her smile, his heart swelling with love and gratitude as he raised his own glass in return. To family, he echoed, his voice filled with warmth. As they dug into their meal, the silence was filled with the sounds of laughter, conversation, and the clinking of cutlery against plates. Robert savored each mouthful, the flavors bursting upon his palate like a symphony of taste and texture, a testament to the love and care that had gone into every dish. "Grandma," he began, his voice soft with emotion, "thank you. Thank you for teaching me how to cook, for sharing your wisdom, and for always being there for me." His grandmother's eyes shimmered with tears of joy as she reached across the table to squeeze his hand. "Oh, Robert," she replied, her voice choked with emotion, "it has been my greatest joy and privilege to watch you grow into the wonderful young man you are today. You have brought so much love and happiness into my life, and I am grateful for every moment we share together." As they sat together, basking in the warmth of the kitchen and the love that filled the air, Robert realized that this was more than just a meal, it was a celebration of their bond, their shared experiences, and the love that had brought them together. And as they savored the last few bites of their meal, Robert knew that this would be a moment he would cherish forever, a memory to hold close to his heart, a reminder of the beauty of simple pleasures and the joy of sharing a feast with those you love. For in that moment, surrounded by the warmth and love of his grandmother, he knew that he was exactly where he was meant to be.